here's a view of my workspace. I'm just working in the garage. Got room on the sides and in the back, so it's gonna be pretty comfortable getting this done. And the reason I'm doing this, guys, is I just take a lot of pride in my car. Like, I like to have everything working, all the little stuff. You know, this is a 10-year-old car, but everything works on it now. Like, I've literally gone through everything and paid attention to every detail to get things working, and now it's just getting things straight cosmetically. So to actually resolve this issue, guys, all you're gonna need is a T25 Torx. You don't need something this fancy as a Milwaukee gun, but I just happen to have one with a T25 insert. And you're gonna need a trim tool to pop out the light at the bottom of the door card and to get the door handle trim piece out. So just those two tools, pretty easy. So we just have a T25 Torx. You can find these at AutoZone, Harbor Freight. Typically they come in screwdrivers or a socket set. You can find bit sets too, but again, you don't need to get that complicated. Just get whatever works. And then this is just a basic little trim tool. I actually took this from the puddle light kit that I bought for my car. So this is really convenient. You can also use a flathead if you don't have this. Here's some helpful tips, guys, when you're gonna pry off your door card or any trim pieces on it. Use something plastic, or if you're using something metal, wrap it in rubber or tape or something, or cloth or something, so you don't damage the leather on your door. If you guys look closely, this right here, this dark space where my hand is waving, there's a really dim orange ambient light right there. That's the factory light. And this is the left door, and there's no puddle light on right here, right? So now, if we come over to the passenger right side, you can see the puddle light is on while the door is closed. And if you look in that door pocket, there's no ambient light lit up right there inside the door pocket, compared to here where there is a dim orange ambient light. So if your puddle lights are not working in your BMW, your F10 specifically, or even another one, check all your lights with the doors closed and the lights on, because in my case, I believe that the ambient light is wired to the door puddle light, and that's why it's on right now, whereas the ambient light should be on right now. So what I'm gonna do is take that door card off and switch it. Let me turn some light on in here. What I'm gonna do is take that door card off and switch it. Switch the plugs from the ambient light to the puddle light, and the puddle light to the ambient light. And I bet you that this is gonna work just right. That to you guys. I'm gonna turn my headlight switch off right now, and then you're gonna see that that other puddle light is no longer working, because it's essentially plugged into the ambient light plug, which turns off with your headlight switch. So now you see it's not working. And yeah, so I figured it out. Let's take the door card off, and switch the plugs, and our other door should look like this. So to actually get the door card off to switch the plugs that I'm talking about here is pretty easy. You need to pry this trim piece out, and you just kind of pry along the edges there, and then eventually it'll come free. And the second thing that you need to do is pry along the edges from with the door, where the door meets the door card here, and there's just a bunch of clips around the edges, so you really just pull this way towards you as hard as you can. You want to pull evenly with even pressure and in more than one spot, so that you don't bend the door card or damage it. But it's really easy to get it loose, and once you have it loose at the bottom here, you'll be able to reach underneath and remove the plug for the puddle light, and you'll be able to reach your hand up and grab the plug for the ambient light, which sits about this high. So once you have this loose and all the clips loose, you'll be able to reach your hand up in there. Okay, so this is the after, guys. And as you can see, this door light is a lot brighter now. The headlight switch is on, and the ambient lighting strip under here is now working. So it turns out that the plug for this and this were swapped, and so this light was super dim, and the only way I could get it on before was to have the headlight switch on and the door open. If the headlight switch was off, I could never see this light. And when I closed the door, I could see a little bright light on the door sill because that thing was staying on. because it was connected to the ambient light connector. So let's go turn off the headlight switch, just so I can show you guys that it still does work without the headlights on, because that's not how it was before. So it's perfect, it's nice and bright. And let's close the door. I gotta be careful here because the card's not all the way on actually. So here's the old puddle lights. These are the factory ones. They're just halogens and they don't look that good. So here's what the car looks like after fixing the plug that was mixed up. So I've changed the fuel pump on this car before and I found a ton of crumbled glass under there. And I noticed that the sticker on this window is different from all the other ones. So if I do a little guessing, I would bet that the window got smashed in. There was a ton of glass left under there. Someone took the door panel off to put that new window in and then mixed up the plugs and never bothered to check whether all the lights were working on the car. So that's probably what happened. Now it's fixed. Now the light is much more bright and vibrant. And right now the ambient light is off, but if the headlight switch was on, you would see it on. Previously it was not working. I would close this door and I would still see the puddle light on. You know, I could just see the brightness of it on the sill. But now it's all fixed. So let's go to the other side. See how they look. Nice and bright. And we got the red interior lights. And then we got both sides working now. And then let's close the door so that you guys can see. We're gonna close this door so that you guys can see that it does go off now. See? Well, actually, it's not off just yet, just like that one. But when you close the door for long enough and the lights go to sleep, these will go off. So you should see those turn off once the driver's door is closed. The car's gonna go to sleep now. So anytime the driver's door is closed or the car goes to sleep, those lights will turn off. Before, that one would stay on. So it's fixed and this is the end result. So happy modding. Hope you guys like this video. So here's how the puddle lights look from a wide angle too. Pretty sweet. Very, very bright and detailed, even from a wide angle lens. I decided to do a little voiceover right here. So this is the before. You can see the light is super dim. It's also backwards because I installed it messed up the first time, but the only reason that it's on right there is because the headlight switch is on, and technically it's wired up to the ambient light switch. So as far as the car thinks, the ambient lights are on, and the ambient light in the door card doesn't actually work. This is what the puddle light is supposed to actually do. Wow, that looks 3D from there. That is trippy. So when you're doing this job and working on your door card, the main thing you want to be careful of is putting your door card back on properly and being careful with the plastic clips, because they can get damaged very easily and they can be a pain to find, and they can get expensive if you have to buy a lot of them. And depending on what you break, you may have to replace your entire door card. So you want to be very careful.